Hello everybody, it's Dan Walls here from Illumination Wall Art on my special 100th subscriber video. I'm over the moon. A lot of you guys have been adding me slowly and helping me out, which is really cool. I'm going to be doing a lot more to the channel very soon. I'm going to be deleting a lot of the old videos and doing more of a DIY craft sort of thing to show you guys what I do on a regular basis and how you can make things at home. To celebrate my 100th subscriber, I squeezed this guy out this morning. It's a nice big POO play button. If you'd like to see how I made this and make your own when you get 100 subscribers, stick around. To make the YouTube poop button, what we want to do is have some card. Need spray paint. I'm using Loop, which is my regular brand. We're going to need a black and a brown and maybe another one just for different colours, different tones, depending on what colour you want your poop to be. With me being a greasy alcoholic, I'm going to be using a lot of lacquer on it, and it's going to be like a reddy brown sort of colour, sort of like when you drink too much red wine in the morning. We're also going to be using some Builder's expanding foam to make the poo itself. We're going to be needing a small box, preferably something this kind of size. This is from an old crystal growing kit. Something you can fit in both your hands. Remember, when you add the expanding foam, it is going to expand and get bigger, so you are going to be able to use something slightly smaller. Put that in the base there. We are going to need, of course, some gloves, because expanding foam and spray paint does stick to your hands and it's a nightmare to get off. Brown acrylic for some final bits. We are going to need a handful of sweet corn, dried sweet corn preferably. I got this from a chicken pot noodle for that authentic poo look. And of course some brushes just to finish the thing up. So, to make a start, what we want to do is we want to use the box and cover it in the expanding foam. This is regular Unibond stuff. I got this from B&Q for about 10 quid. Pop it off, your nozzle at the top there, and also a very long spout that you put on the end. Touch it to that, twist it in, make sure it's on nice and tight, and give the can a shake as you would a spray paint can. So before we do that, I want to get gloved up because this stuff can be a nightmare to get off and it goes absolutely everywhere. What you can see here is another box that I've got, which is about the same size. This one came off an old 3D printing pen. To make a start with the expanding foam, what you want to do is use the nozzle, touch it on, and then just press it through, and eventually it will start to come out. So you can see here it's building up slowly, coming out at the end of the spout. I've actually used this twice now, so the expanding foam is a little bit dormant this morning. So what I'll do is just keep working it. It normally comes out a lot faster than this. As you can see, I'm just beading it through backwards and forwards, covering the entire area. This is actually better than before because now I can take my time and it doesn't go absolutely everywhere straight away. What you want to do is just make your way around backwards and forwards, a nice steady beam. And what this will do eventually is build up the layer. After a few minutes, this is going to start to grow as well. When you leave it to stand, it should grow maybe 3 times the size. One thing you don't want to be doing is touching it without gloves. If you touch it without gloves, it sticks everywhere and it's an absolute nightmare to get right. Now the great thing about expanding foam is that it's really malleable. It takes a fair bit to dry, like about maybe 10-15 minutes to dry solid. So while it's doing this, you can do all sorts of bits and bobs to it. The reason why I stuck it to the card is because it's really hard to touch, so you can move it backwards and forwards, which is really handy when you're trying to put it back together. So it's growing now, it's getting pretty big. Once this dries completely, we can chop it up with a knife to make sure all the bits we don't like are kept solid. I'm just trying to move it backwards and forwards just so it's a bit stickier there, a bit more malleable. See, as you can see on my finger here, it's really sticky and really gross. So what we want to do is leave this to dry and then we'll crack on with the spray painting part of it. So this is it now after about maybe 10 minutes drying time, and you can see it's changed a lot. It's grown huge, and I've sprayed bits of it black just to see what it's like. You have to leave it to dry a little bit, because if you do it instantly, the spray paint reacts with the foam and it starts to melt and make these weird dimpled burnt bits. I quite like them because it adds to the overall texture, but this is looking really strange and dark. It also fills loads with air if you get it with your hands while it's still... You can hear bits of it there. It's still a little bit wet in places, so it's sticking to the gloves, but at this stage you can start to like take some of the bigness out of it, some of its expanded bits. It's not as bulky, and you can start to mash it down into places. Don't worry about getting it on the gloves and making a mess. I want to keep a few bits because I'm not sure which is the back and which is the front yet, because I quite like both sides now. But it's really starting to get where I want it to go a little bit. Best thing about this is the card at the bottom as well, because we can cut round that later and it'll have a place to stand. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to spray the rest of it black and then go over with the browns and really start to make it look like a big lump of shit. So let's see what we can do. I might use that as the front actually. I'm going to go with that. So I'm going with the black loop. Make sure you're in a well ventilated area. This place has got air conditioning and an extractor fan. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to be blasting. Ideally you want to be doing this outside, but so I've got all the gear I need in here. Just blasting it in so all the bits getting put in. And flip it round. It should be dry, you should be able to hear this. Yeah. It's a loaf of bread. We'll blast that completely black. And it should be dry within a couple of minutes. So that's looking pretty wild. You can't really see much of it there, but if I bring it closer to the camera, it's really got something. Needs a bit more attention. Just to blast out all the white bits, you don't want any of that showing in the end. Just going to go over all of it and just to really make that texture pop. There we go. Let that dry a minute. Then we'll hit it again in a second once it dries. Okay, so now the black's pretty dry, and what we're going to do is we're just going to blast it all with brown first. We're going from a dark to a light, so it'll pick up all that texture and everything in the background will be really quite dark. So I'm buzzing over it first with the Belgrade, a little Belgrade colour, which is sort of a khaki, greeny brown sort of colour. I don't know what colour your turds are, but this is pretty close to mine everywhere. This isn't going to be the final colour, obviously, this is just a build up texture as we go. I'm just going to keep flipping it round. Now the way this is set as well, it's kind of got like a lean to it, and I'm not too sure if I like it yet, but we can always mess with it later on. We can always remount it once it's been chopped from the base, so it's not a big deal. See, now it's starting to look a little bit shittier. So I'm going to flip this over now to the wells, and what I'm going to do is just very lightly just dust it in. So I've got it about a foot away, and I'm just dusting it just to pick up some of the textures on the sides, top and back, like this. It's really starting to come together. I'm quite enjoying it now. It's got a lot of gross sort of texture to it that I'm quite fond of. There's still bits of white as well that I've overlooked. So make sure when you got it on here to move it around a lot and check from all angles. So let that dry a second, and then we'll get the lacquer out. So this is regular all-purpose lacquer. You get this from Wilkinson's for about £5. It's really good stuff. This is generally just acts as a sealant for any spray paint work that you do. But the thing with this is it'll give it like a gloss effect, which is really cool. And we'll just do coat after coat, and eventually it'll give it that really wet, sloppy look, which is what we're going to want in the end result. All the way around the back, all through all the gaps and cracks, nooks and crannies. Still a little bit there that I've missed as well, so I'm going to put a little bit in there. There we go. That's looking really good, and then we'll just keep applying it, big thick layers of it, so it's really gross. So you've got this sort of greasy, gross, alcoholic takeaway poo, which is lovely. So there we have it, your very own 100 subscriber POO play button. You can see here I've added the sweet corn, dried sweet corn over there, and also a Dorito for the middle bit. Just make sure you use loads of lacquer afterwards. They shouldn't go mouldy if it's dried anyway and it's had loads of lacquer over it to keep it solid. I'd just like to say a very, very big thank you to everyone who's subscribed so far. Given me 100 subscribers. Andrew Bland was 600th, I think, so thank you very much for that, mate. Much appreciated. If you'd like to see more of my mural business and also the progress I'm making on Dramatic Aquatics car, you can check out the link below to Andy's channel. Dramatic Aquatics is doing so much at the moment with the fish tank car. It's going to be absolutely amazing. And I'm going to be doing a few bits with the murals, DIY stuff, showing you how I do it and the general day-to-day goings on of illumination wall art. So, thank you very much, guys. Please like, comment and subscribe, and also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. Cheers.